This is Strange New Pod. This is our show. We review Star Trek. Why am I singing? What the heck? That's right. Good evening. Welcome back.
Oh, man.
Eric's like, that was awful.
No, it was great. It was great. It was lovely.
No, thank you. I don't believe you. Good evening. Welcome
good effort, baby.
back. I am your fleet admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of Con the Musical, which was a really awesome musical if you got the chance to see it down in New York City, by the way. Vice Admiral Eric is here and probably would have been better equipped to sing the intro than me.
You know what? When we saw the screeners last Thursday and I saw the intro sung in Glee version, I took our audio and I charted out our intro in like 38 voices, and then I was like, and then I got stuck in Niagara Falls and I couldn't record it. So it's just like,
no.
There's no way I'm going to finish this by next Thursday. And I didn't, which really sucks because I have the sheet music for it. And I'm just like, I wanted to do it. It would have been so amazing. It would have been so funny.
Patreon bonus something?
Nope.
I don't know.
That's not so much work.
It's gone in the wind. It's gone in the wind. I love it. I love it. Commander Hawk is here and just wants to get down with all the Klingons. I mean, yeah, there you go. Yep. Love it. And finally, Commander MC is here, ready and able, equipped with all the bunnies to compare this to once more with feeling. Welcome back.
I have a theory. Some Q is dreaming, and we're all stuck in his Fight is Wacky Broadway nightmare.
I got a feeling we should work this out. I love that musical.
Oh, it's so good. We watched it on the Discord the other night. Now I want to sing the whole time. Bunnies are just cute. All right, I'm done. I swear.
What's with all those carrots?
We're gonna be 3 hours because every time we talk about it, we're gonna sing a different song from it. And it's just gonna be one of those shows. So here we go.
Should.
Indeed. Also joining us on the view screen, sitting next to me, she's known to many in the collective simply as the Admiral. That's right. She loves belting rent with her husband. That's me. And is a co-host on the brand new season of the revived Everything is Permitted podcast. Welcome back, Karyn Brown.
I'm so excited to be here.
What? No applause?
A little musical theater nerd.
Where's your
with my
applause?
people.
Wait, I have applause here.
I have applause too. You got it? Do you hear it? Do you have it? I'm not hearing it. I'm going to do it. Where are they? Hold on.
It's playing. It played.
Oh, it did. Shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Double applause. Double applause.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I feel so loved.
We cut you off. What's going on? Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm just excited to be here. All the musical theater nerds and Star Trek has finally converged in a beautiful symphony of amazingness
And nerdum.
and nerddom.
And musicals. We're all musical nerds and theater nerds on the show tonight, so this is gonna get wild. I already did a bunch of talking, so Eric, I actually thought that I would give you the this week. What's going on? What are we reviewing this week?
This week, all systems stable. What happens when a subspace zipper that Spock and Uhura are experimenting on sends a wave that puts the crew of the Enterprise in a pocket musical universe? Can Klingon sing? Not without the help of what's it called? Auto-tune. Why is Daddy mean? I mean Captain Pike on his knees. It's the musical episode. We're gonna review and break this one down. But first, me again.
You again.
Needs to thank God. It's the Patreon Collective. I should have read this earlier at the Ready Room level and above.
That's our thing, though.
That is our thing.
So, thank you to Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santo, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Alan Davis, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Tara, Gildara, Cassie, Julian should dye his hair purple. Yeah, you can be the third person on here, right? Yeah. Maggie Light, Spapple, Wayne Ritz, Scone of Art, Sean J. Howard, Anna Yurdadon, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Dave Willett, Tara Paulin, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, Joshua Miller, Adam Sanders, Eris Spengian, Lanky Guy, Cynthia Markey, Aaron Watkey, Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, TJ, Mayor, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, the Chief, Ernesto Castagna, Sedano 317, Deborah Hussey, 3 Fry Short, Cat Tip, Malcolm Reed, Sean Manning, Congressional Baseball Fan, and Chris Waterman.
Woo! Woo! Well done, Eric. You did it. You got through it. People forget that I dyed my hair purple when I grew it out to do Pikes Peak for a convention, and it was purple for like what, a week?
It was briefly, it faded very quickly.
It faded very quickly.
really
It was
work so well.
unfortunate. And now I just don't have hair again because I hate hair. Yeah. So, and then a big thank you to our executive producers as well. Commander Chris, Simon Stager, the Chief Ernesto Castagna, and Chris Waterman. We just want to talk about this music. We're going to try and get through some news really quickly. If you noticed on YouTube, now I will be the first to say maybe it's because I'm an admin. I can't personally see it, but I know that we now have super chats activated. So that is just another way on YouTube now that you can help the pod. If you would like to have your chat highlighted, I think I don't actually fully understand how it works. I should have come more prepared, but I didn't. You can like buy super chats and it'll like make your chat in the YouTube highlighted, which we will then read. Like if you want to make sure that you have something like you're dying to say, then, we'll see that. Oh, boom. There we go.
It's
Haven. Haven is our first super chat. So thank you so much, Haven. I'm glad it showed up on the YouTube chat because I wasn't sure if it was going to work.
Is that all it does? It doesn't say like a message or anything?
Well, I don't think Haven
It's possible
put a
Haven
message.
didn't write anything.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
So if other people want to test it out, this is a way to help out the pod as well. So yeah, try it out if you want. You are not obligated to do it at all, and we will still read your stuff. So it's not like we're still not going to read your stuff. Yes, and as Colin said, everybody remember to click the like button, please. That also helps us out with the silly, ridiculous YouTube algorithm. Let's see, Fan Expo. We were actually just talking about it before the show started. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. We're going to be there. I think we're starting to realize that we don't have enough time to plan something bigger than we hoped. We are going to record a show on Thursday. We're going to try and figure out that space. We are going to have something for you guys, but most of all, we're just going to be there the weekend. Come find us. We're going to hang out. Maybe we'll plan for all those in our collective that are going to be there. Maybe we'll plan like a dinner or something because we'd love to see all of you.
Dinner. I know a place for that. That has video games and other fun stuff.
Oh, yes. So
And it's very close.
I think we're formulating a plan there. So, Fan Expo. That's what's going on.
Tickets. Early prices are still in effect right now.
I think
up until
tomorrow, right?
Until the 9th.
The 9th. Okay.
9th is when it changes over.
Cool.
Do it.
Let's see. Spotted Giraffe is in the chat, even though
We
she's
have not
in
been
Vegas.
singing that much.
Well, I
Giraffe.
don't know if that's true.
I don't know. We've sang
little
quite a
a
bit.
good amount already. We've sung a good amount already.
Colin's coming.
Yeah, Colin is coming. That's exciting. Let's see. Show us your postcards. We sent out the disco postcards, and I think I actually have them this time.
Oh. No.
No. These. We sent these out to 10 forward level members and above, and they came out really awesome. Some of you have been showing them to us already. We want to see yours. So, yes. I didn't actually say that you were absent tonight because I think everybody knows you're in Vegas, Giraffe. So I didn't feel the need to say anything.
You could come in on your phone.
You could come into the pod on your phone if you wanted, just saying. But yeah, and we have a lot of collective members in Vegas right now. So, yeah.
So have a great time. We hate you all.
Have a great time. Yeah, we hate you all. Wish we were there. Love you. Not seriously, no. Speaking of singing, the crew of the Enterprise feels so electrified. I'm so happy to give you this discount code for Heroes and Villains. They have amazing shirts like this that I'm wearing right now. This awesome U.S.S. Enterprise tee from Heroes and Villains, and we give a discount code to you guys now from there. They have just awesome gear, 20% off your first order using our code STRANGE. That is in all capitals, and it is U.S. only. We're working on that. Hopefully they start doing some international shipping. We'll get there one day, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yes, heroesandvillains.com, and then Giraffe is like the singing. I knew
She's
it.
judging you guys so
so
hard.
She's not actually in Vegas. That's just the reason why she's not here.
Yeah, right. So yeah, 20% off your first order at heroesandvillains.com. I believe we're going to be getting some new shirts to show to you guys next week, so stay tuned for that. Should we get to the Strange Loop? Is everybody good? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good. Sweet. It is the Strange New Loop. This is easy this week. It's actually not easy. I think it's really hard. Pitch me your Trek musical. That's it. That's the loop. Chat, let us know yours too. What's going on? Who's got something? Who read the outline ahead of time?
No one.
Formulated a plan.
I did.
No.
I usually do because I'm a teacher's pet from way back.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we all knew it. But since nobody has it, I do actually have my Trek musical. So I feel like it would take place on Deep Space Nine. Particularly, it would be in Vic's, Vic's bar. And it would be, like I said, some Q is dreaming. Q would be bringing in people from, we'd bring in Uhura. We'd bring in Stamets and Culber. We'd bring in, all of the singy people and force them to sing for the amusement of Q.
Q, I feel like Q should be the part of like every Trek musical, right? Like
Yeah.
it just works. I like it.
I was also thinking maybe Trelane because
Yep, they had that whole Trelane thing going on back then.
yeah.
Right?
Yep. Anybody else who's got something?
Go Hawk. Do it. Do your Sparks musical.
Oh my God, that would be great. But basically, it's just 2 lines. I'm the loneliest Borg in the collective.
Giraffe's loving all the singing. I know it.
Oh, she hates it.
Second line, something, but my thoughts are my own.
Did that song come out in the States? Or was that just a Canadian?
What's that?
The original one, The Loneliest. Oh wait, is that based on a song?
I don't know.
Because it sounds like it sounds like Arrogant Worm. Is Arrogant Worm's song?
Could be. I don't
Anyway,
know.
yeah.
Wait, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Or is it Corky and the Juice Pigs?
Oh, it's I don't know. Is it Corky and the Juice Pigs? I can't.
I think it's Corky and the Juice Pigs.
Yeah. One of those.
Loneliest Eskimo in my tribe.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought of. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
That's a special Canadian thing, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very
You
That
know,
makes sense. That makes sense.
Karen is also an honorary Canadian. You did a whole semester.
I spent a semester at the University of Calgary for my semester abroad in the
Nice.
Texas of Canada.
Abroad, the Texas of Canada.
I was in the Texas of Canada where they have like cowboy bars and beef and oil, and I was like, this is not what I expected it to be.
Lots of pickup
But it
trucks.
was, we used to go to a bar called Cowboys and drink like 25-cent beers, and it was special.
Was it Molson?
It may have been Molson Canadian. I don't even. It may have been cheaper than that. I don't
Labatt?
even know.
Labatt's,
It
yeah.
was no name beer that came in a plastic cup.
Was it a yellow
Yeah.
cup or a red
Yes, I think it was
cup? The
a
no
yellow
name
cup.
brand. I love it.
No, it was just it had no. Yeah, it was an interesting time, and very cold. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I remember. Yep.
I want to steal congressional baseball fans' idea for
Let's hear it.
an episode. Well, I'm going to read what they wrote. Starlight Express, but it's Starship Express. Ooh, on rollerblades? That would be amazing.
That would be
Nice.
I love
good. I like it.
Another one of my audition
All
songs.
right, I got mine.
All right.
All right, hear me out. Bride of Chaotica, the musical.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Enough
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, I like it. But what style as a musical fan?
Ooh.
You know, like Young Frankenstein. Have you seen the musical The Young Frankenstein?
Come on.
I saw that eye roll.
I know you've seen it. I think everyone in general.
You
but-
could do it Rocky style. You could turn
Rocky Horror Bride of Chaotica.
Yeah. It could
Yeah.
work. It could work.
Janeway's Frankenfurter. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like it. I like
Tom
it.
Paris is Rocky, I think. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
There is actually a picture of the Enterprise crew dressed as the cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Sure
and it's
is.
amazing.
Yeah. Because wasn't Scott Bakula a really big Rocky Horror fan?
Believe
That
he
would not
was.
shock me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Scott Bakula, my musical would
course.
be a second parter to the Riker episode where he takes them and makes it into a jazz-esque musical about something better. I don't know about more of the forming of the of Starfleet and having the NX-01 crew on there. I'm picturing a Wild Party-esque, like a Lipa jazz musical. Oh, yeah.
I'm repurposing your Riker holodeck musical into Riker has a holodeck addiction musical issue because he keeps fucking with the Enterprise crew.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Oh,
But will he finally play Nightbird?
he will never play Nightbird successfully, at least.
Maybe in the entr'acte. Yeah.
Do you think Chef had a lot of sex? Who was doing that just now? Chef didn't have that much sex on this ship, did he? I guess he makes the food. I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast, though. It is Riker. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking with the crew. Let's go. Yeah. Exactly. Let's read some of these on the YouTube collective. Giraffe wants a silent movie for her Trek musical. Here, no. Yum Pod. Voyager would have the musical and the EMH would be leading the charge. Hell yes. Ricard Picardo Chris wants Masks as a musical. Musaga is waking. That would be awful. Man. Are there more? Starlight Express we got. I think that's it.
Kevin Richardson's.
Oh, okay. Hit it.
It's a Julie Taymor puppet-styled musical about the Battle of Wolf 359.
Yes. And here's Jay Woodman. Star Trek musical, Everything is True, Especially the Lies, featuring Bashir and Garrick.
Yes.
Immediately.
Spy love story.
Yep. All right. So mine. Here we go. Starbase 80. A bunch of friends. They live there rent free. They're all ensigns, but one of them makes their way up the ranks, gets promoted to admiral, comes along, says, I'm shutting this whole thing down.
Jesus.
You're doing rent on Starbase 80. We're making it happen to keep Starbase 80 up and running.
What is Angel dying of this time?
Air, oxygen deprivation and
Tribbles.
the cold.
Tribbles.
Just
vastness of
everyone's
space.
infected with tribbles.
Yes, everyone's infected with tribbles. Yes. Yeah. Angel could be dying because of the Angel 1 people from TNG season 1. Isn't Angel 1 the episode where Wesley falls into the flower bed?
No, that's Justice.
Justice. Yeah. Angel 1 is, I forget which one Angel 1 is. I thought that was it. Well, anyway, the Justice people is, infecting Angel.
Okay, wait.
Giraffe has a good one.
The people with AIDS are actually Borg.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Giraffe said the Book of Mormon, but on Starbase 80. Are Mormons still around?
I haven't seen Book of Mormon. Well, they are in the Expanse.
Yeah, of course.
So
Jeremy Duncan said Lower Decks put a musical on about Spock in the style of Hamilton. Of course, Boimler plays all the characters.
of course.
It's a one-man show.
as it should be in typical boim style.
I don't know if I can put up with Jack Quaid rapping.
No.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
I would watch that in a heartbeat.
I mean, yeah.
I would cringe the whole time.
Wait,
but
would
I
that make Rutherford Lafayette?
Well, he said that Boimler would be everyone, so no.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everyone's
That's right.
Boimler.
No, so everyone's Boimler. Never mind.
Boimler's Angelica. Boimler's alive.
Rutherford is the stage manager, we know.
Yeah.
Angelica, Eliza,
Mariner plays the
and
bullet.
Peggy. Oh God, I think we're at that time. I think we're reviewing this one. I think we're doing it. I think we're finally there. It is. Eugene Cordero is in Vegas. Apparently, that's awesome.
What? I love him.
Yeah, I know you do. You do. Everybody's there except us.
Womp womp.
So sad. It is our review of Stranger Worlds episode 209. Subspace Rhapsody. Our roundtable order tonight will go Karyn, MC, Eric, Hawk, followed by myself. I had a different beat on here, but I'll do this one because I think I know the way it goes better. All systems stable. Yes, that's right. All systems are stable according to the entire bridge crew. The episode starts with Spock working on an experiment that he thinks could make subspace communication near instantaneous, thanks to this new subspace rift wave thing the Enterprise comes across. Uhura has to work almost as like an old school switchboard operator, right? Which was kind of neat to see, with multiple requests, right? Pike is waiting to talk vacation with Batel, whose name is Marie. Finally have a first name before they fridge her in the finale. We don't have the we don't have the screener yet. We don't know, but
we all know it's gonna happen.
We all know it's gonna happen.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, it's awful. And then Una's waiting for the Farragut to transport Jim Kirk over because he's doing some first officer training. And then Chapel is waiting for her news on a fellowship from Roger Corby. Uhura then heads down to engineering, and Pelia suggests that they send music into the anomaly after she hears Uhura doing some humming. And they want that to maybe generate a response from this rift. And then when it erupts, it sends a wave through Enterprise. And when Pike asks for a report, Spock starts to sing. What did we think about the cold open and the first number?
I liked the setup. I thought that it wasn't like too crazy exposition-y, but they kind of threw in a like, maybe this is plausible, subspace, everything's subspace, let's be honest. If you need to explain something weird, it's because of subspace.
Or tachyons.
Yeah, little both. And I love that it was Uhura's fault, or at least that she put the music in and that's what made it start. And I thought it was fun to have it start with a little song of like, what's going on? This is weird. Why are we singing?
Yeah. True. MC?
Okay, first of all, Uhura competency porn, just like always here for that. And also always here for a little bit of Spock Uhura kind of not flirting, but like they had, these are the types of like me being all like complaining about like the relationship bullshit in this season. Like, this is the stuff that I want. I want stuff that I can build off of instead of like having to put up with what the writers are going to give me, because what the writers are going to give me is never going to actually work. I wasn't too sure about the sending the music into the anomaly, just because they kind of already did that in Children of the Comet, using the music to communicate. Granted, this went like the completely different way. Yes, Giraffe, she gave him a look, and she said it in...
I agreed with you too when we were chatting about it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think I've mentioned this in translation. Every time there's like some sort of communication thing involving Uhura, it's always a very offbeat thing. It's never just like straight up communication. And I get they need like a premise for the musical to start, but I would have maybe preferred something a little bit different. And as for the first song, it was fine.
Fair. Eric, by the way, everybody is now fake spoiler planning Sam Kirk's demise too, even though we know what he dies.
We know.
I like the idea that he's eating pancakes in his last scene live on Strange New Worlds. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Amazing. Who's up?
Me.
Eric.
The cold open was wonderful. I love seeing Uhura kick ass in her job. It was so cool to see. It seems impossible that she's doing this, considering she's routing all the communications for all of the ship. But if anyone could do it, it's Uhura. Pike and Batel, relationship troubles again. I'm sort of over it, to be honest. Like, it's the same thing over and over again, which sucks because I really like Batel, and she seems to just keep constantly getting screwed over by Pike being, I just want to live in the woods. That's it. That's all I want to do.
I want to make you pancakes, live in the woods, and watch the day the earth stood still. That's it.
Why do you want me to go to the beach?
And museums. Those things aren't fun. Her vacation sounds wonderful, by the way.
What else?
I liked seeing Uhura and Spock work together. I thought that was very cute. And the fact that Cole Porter breaks the universe makes sense in my head, right? And the Great American Songbook is still around. like 200 or 300 years later. That's awesome. The little bop that Uhura does when anything goes starts playing, I'm just like, I love her so much. I love her so much. Of course.
Some people are
I
saying
remember
that-
I accidentally spoiled you for that because you didn't watch the trailers. Because that was like, oh, I think that Uhura's little flirty little dances. I just hope it doesn't have to do with Chapel. And you had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what that was. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was very cute. I loved it. The opening number was wonderful. It does the standard of, revealing the world. It's people, confused in a musical. It happens often. It's usually an ensemble number. I used to teach a course on musical theater for high school students, by the way.
That was a big leap. Elementary.
No, I was like, it's grade 9. That's not elementary. That's high school. And I would go in schools and talk to them about it. And it was good. I did not expect Spock to be the first person to sing in this cast. I totally thought it would be Uhura. And I'm glad it was Spock because my jaw dropped and I just went, giant smile. Not creepy Spock smile, but very happy smile for me. And it was surprising how good he was. It's also one of the more complex songs in the musical. Yeah. The writers of the musical, I can't remember the two of them, the singer from Letters to Cleo and one of the guitar players who's not in the band anymore. They did a good job. It's the only song other than the finale that has counterpoint in the whole thing. And that's usually one of the better parts of musicals, is having various lines sung at the same time, but in counter, lines. And that's sort of something I missed throughout the whole thing, because everything was sort of solo numbers and introspective songs, which is usually what you see on TV show musicals instead of, actual musicals. But overall, they did a fairly good, this is the world, this is our issues that we're dealing with opening number.
Yeah. It's Kay Hanley and Tom Pulse.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Tom Pulse also did the orchestration and some of the songs for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, nice. Huck.
Not too much more to add to that. Great cold open. I love seeing Uhura's workstation and that. How the set design and that, going off the old stuff from the 60s and that, but updating it for a modern look. And this actually looked really useful as a layout, didn't it? So it was great seeing that. Seeing how we're just redirecting calls is I would have walked away. Pike talking vacation with a girlfriend, Maria. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, again, I don't know. Long distance relationships are hard. So, Una waiting for Jim to transport fair. That was good. It was great seeing Uhura in engineering, because she is just so damned adorable now, doing that little shake and that. I think somebody put out on the internet that's got to replace the gif of
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And I didn't expect Spock to be the one who really kind of broke the ice on this episode. Also, a correction here: it wasn't a subspace wave; it's a subspace fold.
Okay. Fold.
But the wave came from the fold.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think they said it was a rift a couple of times too. I think they used both words, but
it was a bunch of different things,
and a zipper too. It was a lot of things.
It was subspace. That's all.
Subspace.
Yeah. Good, Hawk?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so I fucking loved this opening number. We all watched it together, me, Karyn, and Cecily, and just the minute that Spock started singing, Karyn and I, very similar to that message that Eric sent us in our chat, just shit-eating grins on our face, just holy shit, this is happening, and it's really good. For whatever reason, there's a portion of the opening number that's really sitting with me, and it's I don't know why, because it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a nothing line, but it's when Una's at her station and she's talking about I don't remember exactly how the tune goes, but checking inertial dampeners and their hampered or something like that. And I love that line.
But it also changes the tempo of the thing. So it's doing a count, it's doing a what's the phrase that people use? It's it's shocking the viewers because it's not the same as everything before. So you really take notice of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the musical term for it. Fuck.
But yeah,
I'm a bad musical person right now.
No, that's okay. But what you're saying is true, right? Because it does slow it down, and you get that moment too where she's like, "All is okay," or whatever, and it's really nice, and it does change the pace. And I just really like this set the mood. Before we get into the next song, we do need to talk about the acapella opening credits because that was awesome. Does anybody want to talk about those real quick? I just wanted to mention them because they were awesome.
I love Glee. Or at least I did for the first couple years before it just became Mashup City. They did a phenomenal job. Like the layering is amazing. I tried to chart this one as well, but I just ran out of time. It's really well done. Like the complexity of the multiple parts that they broke it down into was really well done. And it's not just like bass, alto, soprano, tenor. There's like multiple basses and multiple things. Like the do 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 do. Like at the end of it, I was like, I love this. I wish I was in show choir.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat right now talking about Battelle. We brought up fridging Battelle, and now everybody's angry. Trying to be
right.
Sorry.
No, properly.
Gonna be more mad next week.
Well, hopefully the writers are just playing us for a fool. I doubt it.
Just before we move on to the next number, something I want to bring up that actually I saw in Jesse Gender's review of this. Ortegas's part in this number, which is basically her only part outside of the background in this whole thing. And it's again that she flies the ship.
Even at the end, the ship is going down. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. And I just really wish the writers would find something else because it's like, dude, that's the thing that we know from the very first episode. Let's like more Ortegas, like layering of
More.
Remember last year when they're like, we're going to give her due next season.
I fly.
We have an episode. We have one more episode. Oh man, no. Excuse me. Connect to your truth. I love this song. Jim Kirk and Una, they share a song because Jim wants to be the best first officer he can be before he comes and takes Pike's job. Una says that she's trying a new approach. Thoughts on this number, Karyn?
I enjoyed it. I am a Gilbert and Sullivan fan, so I really appreciated the little Una shout
Not just
out.
a fan.
I have performed with a Gilbert and Sullivan company in Philadelphia called the Savoy Company, and so Una's love of Gilbert and Sullivan definitely touches my heart. I thought it was a really fun song. I think it was a good little, one of those, I'm going to teach you something numbers in a musical, and the dancing was cute. I thought it was a nice little bit of Una maybe opening up a little bit and trying to show Jim the ropes and how to be a good captain.
Yeah. Eric Summers of the chat goes, Kirk being Kirk in a Jeffries tube. Absolutely. Yep. MC?
It was a good number. I thought Rebecca Romaine was a really good, did very well in this. I think I read somewhere that she did a bunch of musicals in high school, so she's got some not professional training, but definitely a background in it. And I did like that they did bring up from both Q&A and from Ad Asper per Aspera, the Gilbert and Sullivan thing, because it's a character trait. So by having Una's big number be Gilbert and Sullivan, it's this is a touchstone with her character, and that's something that I didn't find with a lot of. It's like they handed it to the writers on a silver platter. It's this is what Una's song is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say any of the other songs super read to me as this is what this character should be singing. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, this was a nice, fine little number. It was, I think, probably the loosest in terms of emotions bringing on songs.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
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 But
The dancing was cute.
It was. Real quick before we continue, Michael Kwan had a question. Did they miss an opportunity by not having Una do a Gilbert and Sullivan style patter song?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think they definitely could have.
Yeah. This was still good though, and it was like it gave me Gilbert and Sullivan vibes for sure. Yeah.
It kind of gave me like a Rodgers and Hammerstein sort of, like, it made me think of like Getting to Know You, or like
It was more
one of
Rodgers
those,
and
like,
Hammerstein for sure.
or
Yeah.
like My Fair Lady, where he it had sort of like a I'm gonna teach you something song, and that like one of those like classic old musical sort of situations.
I think
Just
it would
stole my
be very
point. Damn it.
early in this
Sorry.
musical to do patter, like for the second song. That's
Yeah. Yep. Eric.
Isn't Hawk before me? Hawk.
No, you're
No.
first.
You're,
What?
you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me. Oh, I'm the wrong one.
Hey.
Well,
Hey, I
Karen
didn't
took all
fuck it
my
up this
things. No,
Sorry.
I like it's a fine song. It's all right. Like I do like Gilbert and Sullivan, so it was cute to see, and I could see this, like, you know, in My Fair Lady when they're teaching Eliza how to speak with with a proper accent. That's what this scene reminded me of. The dancing was cute. They missed an opportunity by having the background actors not dance in the background. I thought that would have been cute.
Yeah.
Like that, like in Buffy, like they had everyone being part of the musical, but they were just sort of doing their own thing. And I was like, fuck, come on, man. Just a little bit more. Also, there's a scene where a sequence where Una's walking backwards in time and Kirk's walking after her, she's walking backwards and he's walking with her, and he's not walking in time with her. And it broke my brain as a musical theater fan. I'm like, why? Why are you not doing this? And it was just like, fuck. But that's nothing, right? That's nitpicking, because it was a fine song. It was cute. It also reminded me of like Glinda trying to talk to Elphaba and being like, we're gonna make you better.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Not my favorite, but not the worst song.
Hawk.
I may have liked the song the best out of it. But anyways,
The best out of us or the best out of the thing?
maybe the best out of
Both.
the thing. I don't. Yeah.
The pot, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And as far as emotion in that, I think it's basically that Una is very passionate and very emotional about being a first officer, and that's why she was broken into song. It did show a lot of chemistry between Jim and her, and that, especially dancing. And that was one thing. I thought there should have been more dancing, from the rest of the crew, and that whenever like these musical numbers broke out.
I was spoiled by dancing red shirts in the preview.
Yeah, and we didn't get that till the end.
I know. Yeah, like those two in the hallway, and that just seemed to be going out of the way to try and avoid them. But I really did like this number. Yeah.
Just real quick in the chat, Bursting Snip says, do you think it would have been a good episode if it had the same kind of story, but in a non-singing style?
No.
I don't know.
There's really not much plot here.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't go in wanting plot. I just wanted a good musical episode.
Well,
so,
I mean,
I
that's
was
why
happy.
the question.
No, it's a good
this episode
question.
would not.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work without the music.
It would have been a good B plot of an episode.
B plot, yeah. Yep, true. Yeah, so I really like this song. I'm with Hawk. This song was great, especially because I just didn't know Paul Wesley could sing. Paul Wesley's hot. He can sing. He's a really good Jim Kirk. And I don't know if people noticed, but in 3 episodes this season, the Jim Kirk evolution just continues to evolve. He just keeps on becoming the character. And the way he walked, he did the Shatner strut, and he had his hand here while he was walking at one moment, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching TOS. This is amazing. I really liked the song. I like that Una got to sing. I just thought Paul Wesley's voice just shocked me. Not that it was an intense song to sing, right? But I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. I also like the, like La'an kind of creeping in the background.
That was hilarious.
It was really good.
Girl,
it was really good.
get out of the way.
Yeah. And Kay Quinn in the chat writes, Una songs didn't hit with me as well, but I think it boils down to them not knowing what to do with her character. I would say that like I did like this song a lot, but I did not, and we'll get to that, but I did not like her second song. So we'll get there though. We'll get there. I really enjoyed this. I actually would go, is it, how would that feel? I don't know how she sung this. How did, Karyn, you do it. You've been singing this all.
Flying blind.
Yeah.
How would that feel?
There it is. Thank you. I needed someone to do it.
I've been singing that song all damn week. It has been in my head
Yes.
all damn week.
So she sees the number above. I was saying she's kind of like creeping in the background. It was really funny. And gets a really strong solo number about exactly what the song title is just. She's like reminiscing of like, what if she had a relationship with Jim Kirk? What if she like decided to just be that person who, was more like emotionally out there, because La'an keeps a lot in. So what do we think about this one? You've been singing all week, so I know how you feel already.
It is an earworm is what it is. I really liked it. I thought she has a great voice. I think it was a great performance. I think this was like the first song that was like, oh, this is like an emotion coming out versus, the first couple songs didn't feel quite so much of like that, the rules of a musical emotional imperative sort of thing. But this one was like, I got some feelings, I got to get them out, and now I'm going to go like hide in my bedroom and sing because I don't want anybody to know about this, which is which I think falls very well with the character. I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
You have a question in the chat from Haven. What song did your daughter start singing when Julian was playing Rent in the car?
Oh, I'm trying to think. You know what? She really likes the song once. She really likes Glory.
Yes, she really does.
And she had like a dance teacher that played it, and she was like, "Can you play that Glory song?" And I like figured out. I was like, "Oh, Rent? Oh, you want to listen to Rent?"
You're such proud parent.
I was so happy.
My kids love singing "What You Own" from Rent.
That's my favorite Rent song. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it wasn't "Take Me Out Tonight."
That song's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
It is a great song.
Yeah,
maybe
but
not for my 7-year-old to sing.
Why didn't install this pole in my living room?
MC, were you done?
I'm done.
MC.
Christina Chong did an amazing job on the song. She is a great singer. And I mean, I thought the song was okay, but it kind of starts off what I think is the flaw of this episode, and that this is a great I Want song. But then it seems like every other song that comes after it is also an I Want song. There's a lot of wanting in this. There's a lot of I Want songs. And I kind of wish that we had kind of varied up the style of the songs. It's like La'an gets the I Want song, and then we have some sort of actual romantic ballad, because instead they gave Pike like this weird, like, argument song. And because there's no actual villain, we don't get a villain song. And I'm sorry, like villain songs are like some of the best songs in musicals.
That is true. That is very true.
And I remember in the preview, they showed all of the scenes with Kirk, and I'm like, well, I guess, my theory about Kirk being with Carol is wrong, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I was also really expecting that after this song there was going to be like some sort of like La'an and Kirk song, and then that there was not, like they had a conversation.
I was happy they didn't, and that was actually just like a conversation.
I'm surprised they didn't, because the emotions were really high at that point.
That's true. That's
like
true.
It didn't have to be a love song, but like there could have been, like it was a very emotional moment, and I don't know.
Eric?
This song, well done. Like it was a well done song. Again, a good I Want song, like MC said. This is like top cheese though in this whole episode. This is the cheesiest number of the whole one. And like I don't blame them. Like, I love cheese. so I thought it was adorable. My kid thought it was hilarious as well. Like, it was just like, oh man, oh, kissy. And I was like, oh, I was like, you're 4. You don't shut up. But it was good. This song felt like it was the longest song though. And it's not a long song.
I think it was.
Yeah.
It felt so long. But other than that, like, Christina Chong has a wonderful voice, and I wonder if her releasing her album this year is directly because of them doing this recording last year.
I feel like it has to be,
right?
Yeah. At
She's
least,
like,
yeah.
Because she definitely has the chops. She did a good job.
Yep. Hawk?
Again, yeah, she really does have the chops. She's I didn't really realize how good a singer she was until I saw this part. She is fantastic. But from a character perspective in that, this is kind of a really tough episode for Leon in that she has some stuff that she doesn't want to talk about. And like, naturally, as a security officer, someone who went through, the Gorn, survived the Gorn, and that this is like really tripping her out because she has some intense feelings and now she has no filter for them and no guard against it. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The fact that she was kind of the first one to kind of get that it was like emotions were the trigger for all these musical events, wasn't she?
And how
she goes to Pike in the turbo lift about it. Yeah,
because the song starts off with her realizing that Una wouldn't have said those things if it wasn't in song, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which we kind of learned through that song is a little untrue, right? Because Una says she is trying like a more like outward approach, but she's maybe still has that
more
feeling towards her.
vulnerability. Yeah.
And I mean, La'an's song, like, she wouldn't say any of that shit out loud.
Never. Yeah. Sorry, Hawk, continue.
Oh, I'm good.
Good. Yeah, I felt like this song was really long too. I liked it, but and I know you love it, and it is a really good song. I didn't connect with it for some reason. It's still a really, really good song. I actually did connect more with like the conversation that they had later on. But I do agree that maybe that should have been a song. Maybe, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. This was good. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't hit me the same way as some of the others, but it was still freaking fantastic. So very happy with. Some people on Twitter were comparing it to like one of like the big Frozen ballads, like that this was like that a little bit, which I don't necessarily.
I kind of heard that.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe.
Well,
it's
because it's an I Want song, and so it's very much got that feel of like the big Disney always has an I Want song from their princess. So that's kind of why La'an, she was the princess in the Elysium Kingdom.
That's right.
Ooh, now there's a musical I want to see.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes.
I would love that.
Haven writes, Christina Chong did an interview right before the strike saying she went into acting to become more confident as an actor and use Stranger New Worlds as a stepping stone to do both acting and singing. So there we go. It was a private conversation. A private conversation. Love it. I know that this is so short, but I adored this. Pike and Patel have a moment in front of the whole crew on the bridge where we finally found out her first name, Marie. I don't want to hurt you, Marie. I love that line so much.
You mean the world to me. Rhyming.
La'an acts fast and smart and cuts the channel off while Pike is on his knees in front of his whole crew. Obviously concerned, he's like, why did I emote all that? La'an reiterates that like emotions are the issue right now and making people say all these things. Thoughts on this brief but fun number, Karyn?
I cringed the entire time, and I was like, the best part was like La'an pulling the plug, and I was like, oh, thank God. Not because it was like bad, but just I felt such secondhand embarrassment for Pike.
Yeah.
Like spilling his guts in front of his crew, like ugh. And I think it got it, it got the point across that for him to be like, oh no, this is a problem, not just like, oh, this is a weird thing, but yeah.
Is this the moment that makes him want to use the photon torpedoes, even though he knows it's not a good idea? And Spock's like, no, that is a good idea.
Probably.
It's like, wait, really?
Probably, yeah.
Really? Yeah. MC.
Okay, I have to read this first because it almost made me laugh out loud. Yum Yum Pod said, she gets a first name so we can put it on her tombstone.
Oh,
It really is the truth.
What are we gonna do when we're wrong next week?
We're not.
I don't think we are.
She doesn't die. I know, but like, what
They're
if she
telegraphing it
doesn't die?
too much.
unless it's a red herring and somebody else is gonna go.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're gonna be fucked if she doesn't die. We've like invested so much in saying that she's gonna die.
I'd be happy to be wrong.
Me too.
Yeah.
One last pancake
Because I'm
before
gonna
you go.
like really be upset with this episode if it happens.
Yeah.
I know we keep talking about the finale, but
But
Go ahead.
yes, this song, yeah, like Karyn, I was cringing through the whole thing. First of all, because Anson Mount is not like the greatest singer.
oh, he was fine.
He was
fine.
he was fine, but certainly, and I mean, granted, like this wasn't really like this was meant to be embarrassing. But, just like from a writing standpoint, like they really were pushing with like this whole Pike and Battelle relationship, like just throwing in this obstacle. So there would be an obstacle for Pike to sing about. And I just like, I didn't really like that, especially it just didn't. That especially didn't work for me. We already had not every song in a musical has to be about like some relationship, because it does seem like it is like La'an and Kirk, and all of Una's songs are about being like the supportive friend, and Spock and Chapel, and Pike and Battelle, until Uhura can solve everything by being awesome. So, but we could have done something different.
Eric, real quick, actually, this is horrible too, and I almost died just now. Bagel won't die. People are calling her Bagel in the Discord. It started a couple of weeks ago. She'll just end up in a beep beep chair.
Oh.
You know about
Eric,
I thought the song was hilarious. I love the look that Battelle gives when she starts singing. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And it's so awkward. I understand the secondhand embarrassment that Karyn was feeling, because I loved it. I loved feeling it so awkward during this song. And the look on everyone else on the bridge, that were just like, should we not be listening to this? But we're definitely watching it. We're definitely gonna keep watching it because it's going on. And then oh my god, his reaction when La'an turns it off, and he's like, why was I still going? It was so good. Like I love that was the moment where he's like, yeah, this is a security thing. Yes. Oh man.
Huck.
This was probably the best little bit of comedy in the entire episode, and that him on his knees and then her just cutting a whole thing off and him just kind of focus back into reality. It's like, I'm on my knees singing. It was great. I really hope they don't fridge Battelle, but
I swear they're telegraphing it so much that they're like, gotcha. Yeah.
And then they'll do it in the premiere of next season.
And I think this is the moment where they realize that this effect can actually be spread across like their communications network
through the Subspace network. Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed this moment quite a bit. Good song. He's an okay singer, but
I loved him, but I'm so biased towards Anson
You
Mount. That
really
man
are.
could do no wrong.
I feel like he would have done a good country song.
he would have done a great country song.
He has that voice.
He does.
Yeah.
He totally does. I loved this, but for a lot of the reasons that Karyn said, like the secondhand embarrassment, right? Like I am definitely one of those people. I've talked to a couple other Trekkies who get like hardcore secondhand embarrassment from TV, and I get it hardcore. Oh man, and just like she looks so pissed on the view screen, just like the just like it was a private conversation. She's so mad, and I love it. I love like that line I already said, like I don't want to hurt you, Marie. I don't know why. It's so good. One, because we get her first name, so I'm like, it's Marie Battelle. She's dead. Yay. Oh no. It was short. It was sweet. I like Lon hitting the button, and I love. Listen, we talked about it 2 weeks ago during the crossover episode. Anson Mount as a physical actor is just bar none one of the best. everything that man can do with his face is just incredible. When he's done and looks back horrified to everybody is just chef's kiss. I died at that moment. No, I really enjoyed this one. I'm ready. I love this song. We learn earlier in the episode, as we've been expecting.
You're skipping, and I know why you're.
I am skipping because it's the worst song in the music. The Keeping Secrets. It's so bad I don't remember how it goes. So if someone wants to sing this part, they can. The beat on it, I don't know. Anybody? No.
I don't remember any.
I don't even remember it. No.
It's something like that. It's not good. Una knows that La'an has the hots for Jim. It's hot. And we get this number from Una with floating and all. Where'd this one land for you guys?
Plunk. It was a miss for me. I wish that it had been a duet, and I don't know why they didn't have Christina Chong sing with anybody, and I kind of almost wonder if there was a reason, because I think there were opportunities where La'an could have sang with someone in like a duet, or maybe they just didn't want to do duets. Maybe they had, I don't know. But it just felt weird as like a Una singing at La'an kind of, the floating was random and didn't really feel important. Like, why'd you turn off the gravity? I don't know. They didn't even do anything when they floated. Yeah. Like, at least they could have done something cool and like danced.
Like defy gravity?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. It just was, I don't even remember the song. And I loved most of the other songs, but like, it was forgettable for me. It just didn't feel like it was important, or like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yep. MC?
So if we're going to have a song about keeping secrets and have two ladies floating in the air, then I need Una to reveal that she's gay.
Yeah.
So many missed opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm. This song, like a Led Zeppelin, Rebecca Romaine is a good singer, but I did not like this song. Mm-hmm. It was not necessary. Una's role seriously in this was just being the supportive friend to Kirk, even though she doesn't know him, and to La'an. The floating was stupid, especially when they, cut back. Like when they shoot it outside of the ship, you can see that they've CGI'd, like the little models have their hair floating up, but then when they go inside, their hair
wasn't
perfect.
floating. It was so nothing. I don't think anything else was floating in the room either.
No, nothing else was floating either, and it just didn't. And then there was also like that really weird moment where they cut to Mbenga and Chapel, and it was a reference to last week's episode, because they have a shot specifically on Mbenga where it says like cuts like a knife or something.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But it did. That's exactly what it was. But it did not work for me. I didn't like it.
Miss Powell family in the chat goes, it's the You'll Never Walk Alone by Mother Superior in The Sound of Music. Una is Mother Superior.
Only that's actually a good song.
Yeah. I don't skip that song, but I'll skip this song.
I would, yeah.
Speaking of, Eric,
this song is terrible. It's terrible. It also makes no sense. Like with the heightened emotions, like what? Why is this a song? This can be a conversation. This could be an email.
It's a private conversation.
And honestly, like it's the worst song. I just don't understand the point of it. And like, I like Una singing. She's fine, but it served no purpose for me. Like, I didn't enjoy the song. The meaning was lost after the first like 30 seconds of her singing. Like, it's just her going, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
just go for it. But for 4 minutes,
they could have made this a conversation and then had a song of La'an and Kirk like talking, and that would have made so much more sense.
Yeah. Like have it underplayed underneath. Like that would be way better. Like it still would make the song not better, but at least visually it'd be good. Skip. This is the skip song.
This is the skip song. Hawk?
Yeah, pretty much reiterated. I agree with everything. This one fell flat despite all the anti-grav.
Ooh.
Bam.
Womp womp.
Air horn.
Get off my bridge.
I have
Thank
that
you.
too,
Thank you.
somewhere. There you go. I did it just for you, Hawk.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, this song sucked. It's bad. It's just there's nothing good to say about it. Did not take away my enjoyment at all from this episode, but damn, this was a bad song. Like really bad. The biggest thing that song notwithstanding, I want to know like who choreographed this scene and who staged it, because the floating just looks so awkward. Like it looks like they're on strings, and they're probably on strings.
They might not even be on strings. They might just be standing up. Right.
I'm pretty sure they were, and they were just like maybe had them on like a turntable or something.
Like it grossed me out because it was so half-assed. Like because everything else I thought was like so like particular and like so well done and just like thought about, and it's just like, all right, we need one more Una song. Okay, there you go. Have fun. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. So we're gonna skip and we're gonna move on to I'm ready. We learned earlier in the episode that as we've been expecting, MC and I know have been talking about this for a bit, that Chapel has been accepted into Roger Corby's Archaeological Medicine Fellowship. Fun fact about this: we put on is it What Little Girls Are Made Of? Yes, What Little Girls Are Made Of, the Roger Corby episode, because Cecily was like, I want to watch more Star Trek, and she was digging it. She was freaked out by Corby's henchmen, which was great because you're supposed to be. But we watched it. Well, we watched part of it. It was fun.
It's a weird ass episode.
It is
That's
a weird
episode, especially to show to your kid, because there's like sex bots, and at one point, like Kirk pulls a rock that's a
It's
penis.
Star Trek, the penis rock. That's right.
So Maggie Light is saying that they were on strings. They said on the Ready Room.
Oh, okay. Well, it looked like it. Spock finds out that she got accepted by seeing her celebrate in that like beautiful new Enterprise lounge that I really want to visit the set of. She's celebrating with Ortegas and Sam Kirk. And then Spock inquires as to why Chapel didn't tell him. And she proceeds to straight up break up with him through this epic song. What did we think about this number, Karyn?
I love this song, but like, wow, is it douchey? Because it's where she's just like, oh, I didn't tell you, but like, look how amazing it's gonna be. And sorry, like you can't be part of my life because I gotta go do my thing. Which, like, on one hand, I understand, but like, that's a really crappy way to break up with somebody.
I don't know. I would love to get broken up to in song.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna get broken up with, like a badass musical number is the way to go.
Right?
I totally dug like the retro feel of it. I loved the dancing. I think that she absolutely killed it. I think this was like the most lively number. It was nice to have like a really lively group number kind of in the middle of after like some slower songs that weren't quite as showy.
Yeah. In the chat, Miss Powell family brought up another good point. I'm Ready is my favorite, and Spock's song, which we're going to talk about soon on the X, is the same but slower in a lower key. It's like a reprise of it, which is pretty freaking sweet. I noticed that. I think my second viewing, I was messaging him like,
I pointed that out to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
You did, or no? I thought I pointed it out to you. No, I thought I pointed it out to you. No, I pointed it out to you.
No, because you were trying to figure out what it was connected, and I was like, it's Chapel's song. Right. It's okay.
Well,
it's all right.
I thought I figured it out. Never mind. I just got called out. Anyway, sorry. Who is next? Did you go yet?
Don't be me.
MC, go ahead.
I have a lot of feelings about this. I really like this number because I think one of the things that I was disappointed at with this is that so many of the songs were like walking and being dramatic and singing instead of all of this dancing and because I mean I think we only get dancing in the finale and then that little waltz thingy from Una and Kirk. And that made me feel a little, it's like, so it's not really a musical, it's just people singing.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you guys were saying, it's like, well, Christine broke up with Spock because of Boimler. No, she absolutely broke up with Spock because of this, because like she can't lie. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Like she's sharing her real emotions. Like if it were an issue of, you know, our relationships, you know, going to end because you're going to turn back into a Vulcan, she would be singing that. But no, she, you know, is singing that, you know, I want to be free. And that's actually a completely different song. But
let me rest in peace.
Let me rest in peace. Let me get some sleep. Let me take my love and bury it in a hole 6 foot deep. I love that song. Sorry.
It's such a good song. Do you have to mention love that, you know, Spock and Uhura like doing the science to like figure out? It's like, oh, we need to trigger a song. Oh, I think we're going to trigger a song right now. This is the worst way to break up with somebody, but also epic. I don't know how broken up they're going to be because we've seen in the previews that they're making cow eyes at each other, like
making
but
cow
if
eyes.
This
I've never heard that term.
that is an expression. Yeah. Wow. You know, it's like the big sad eyes, right?
The big glassy sad eyes.
Yeah. Which Chapel does a lot when talking about Spock. But I will forgive the entire Chapel and Spock relationship if Spock grows an epic breakup beard.
Oh,
maybe gets a good epic breakup haircut.
Better hair, bulk, like he finally gets the full Vulcan bowl cut because of this. Kevin Richardson brings up a point. If you went on a 3-month work trip, would you break up with your spouse? I don't understand the logic, pun intended, behind the breakup, but I'm glad it happened. I do. One, Spock's engaged to be married still. Like, Chapel's been the third wheel in this situation and is finally coming to terms with that and realizing that. Like, I would break up with him if I was going on a 3-month work trip. I'd be like, fuck this, I'm done. Like,
she's just
I feel
over
like
it.
He's got so much baggage.
A fellowship could also lead to more, right? She could not come back as well. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, remember in the last episode, she was already kind of getting sick of him. Also, this is like the first episode this season where we got a hint of bisexual Chapel.
Yes, thank God. Yes, I'm going to talk about that because that was hot. Just got to say that, like, the looks they gave each other. Yep, she knows. Eric.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the Spock Chapel relationship, as everyone knows. I think we all aren't really fond of it.
I don't know anybody in this podcast
week, but I got there.
Yeah, like, it's weird because they've only been together for what, three episodes, maybe 4.
The longest 3 episodes of my life.
They are. So really, them breaking up I didn't feel bad about it, like, because the relationship was sort of nothing at this point. Like, if this was a longer series, maybe it would have felt more. If this happened next season, I feel like maybe it would have had more impact. That being said, I do like that she chose her career over the sad boy Spock. That was nice. This song is my favorite of all of them. This song is the closest to a Letters to Cleo song out of all of them. It sounds like one of their sounds like Coal Pilot, one of their singles. And like it was sung well, like, and like MC said, having dancers, like a whole ensemble behind it was so good. And I know they didn't do it the whole episode because Uhura gets to the realization that they're like, we need multiple people all together to get to this number. But it's shitty that it's so.
I would assume there's probably some budget too with like how long can we have the dancers.
But they could have also like not made all solo slow
you're not
numbers
wrong.
before.
No, definitely not wrong. Yep.
Yeah, the constraints of a 10 episode season, says Eric Summers in the chat. Yeah, exactly. The choreography is beautiful. Everyone in this bar is gorgeous. So
not even fair.
Like everyone. The choreography is nice. They did some musical things that I thought were surprising. Like, I fully expected a slow part where she got introspective, but she didn't. She was just like full out like, I'm done with this. I'm good. I'm like, oh, cool. I like that they sort of subverted my musical theater knowledge by doing that. And it looked like the most fun that they had in the whole episode. I think this was the best number.
Yeah, well, first up, I don't think anybody in this podcast has ever, taken up the reins or campaigned for the Chapel-Spock relationship. So
That's true. That's fair.
That said, this was like, the strangest, weirdest, and probably the best choreographed way of breaking up with somebody and ending it. Like, I did not expect a relationship to end like this. Given that, like I said, visually, it was great to watch, and I'm part of me is glad that she's kind of moving forward in that, but like this really needed, this probably needed an actual conversation than a musical montage. Even still, I liked it.
Yeah. I told Haven was in the chat. We're only watching Buffy last night, doing the watch along, and they asked us, me and MC, if we had a favorite song yet. And we both said yes, and I think I did last night. And I watched this 2 more times today, and I was like, "Wait, is this my favorite song?" So I'm like undecided now, but I adore this song. It's so good, and like Hawk said, like no one campaigned, but I think I was like the only person that was maybe like, yeah, like give Spock and Chapel a chance. Like why not? I'm a hopeless romantic. So, but I was so done after last week when he was such a petty little bitch. Like I couldn't anymore. So like when this happened, and he's like, why didn't you tell me? And she just goes off. It's like, I'm ready. It was so good. And like MC said, the bi energy, right? Like she just sits down next to those 2 girls and each of them is like, hi. And I'm like, well, we know what Chapel's doing tonight. No pun intended.
I'm fine with
every pun intended.
There's some pun intended. But that was like, this scene had everything. It had good music. It had good choreography. It had Jess Bush, like whether it's auto-tune or not, like I don't know if she has a voice, but she sung well. It was sexy, like it was like good in that way too, and musicals need some sexiness in them, and this was that number. Everything about this was perfect, and like Uhura does at the end of the episode, she's humming this. She's like, earworm. This is an earworm, like definitely one of the bigger earworms of this episode. So Eric Summers says a whole new meaning of going to the chapel. That's a good one. That is a good one.
I mean, I'm not super crazy about, I know we knew she was going to be hooking up with Roger Corby, but the whole like breaking up with Spock to go on the Roger Corby expedition where she gets engaged to him, and like that goes super wrong because like what Little Girl's made of is like really creepy. Like he is not a good dude.
No.
Yeah, no, he's awful. And they have so many good things to say about him during like the episodes he's mentioned this, right? It's like, y'all just don't know yet. Before we get to the next song, let's talk about Carol. And there is some debate of whether this should have been a song, right? But in a non-musical bit, Jim and La'an do finally have the conversation, and La'an breaks like every rule in the temporal prime directive, but whatever, reveals everything to him about meeting his alternate self. Jim reveals that he feels a connection to her too, but is in a sometimes relationship with Carol Marcus, and one of those times is right now because Carol is pregnant with David. What do we think about this scene, and then the likelihood that this is probably the nail in the coffin for the La'an Jim relationship? Karyn.
I'm glad that they made kind of an emphatic, like, no, this ain't gonna happen, like between La'an and Kirk, because the whole like tension thing and her sort of pining for him thing, like I'm glad that it's not gonna like keep going, and hopefully she's just gonna be like, all right, I can let this go, like this ain't gonna happen, this was another time, I'm moving on. Because yeah, the sort of like crush thing going on was like, on one hand, it gave her some character, but also like I don't want her whole character to just be like pining for Kirk and trauma. Yeah, both.
Yeah. MC. Yeah,
I'm right. I'm so happy I'm right. I actually feel I like did really well predicting shit from this episode. But yeah, I mean, I really like this conversation between them, not only because I'm right, but just because it was a very nice conversation with them. This is an interesting time for Kirk that this is one of the complaints I've had with Kirk is that we know so much about him. they found something that we don't know anything about. Like, we had no idea really what the relationship was between him and Carol and David. Like, if they were like, how involved he was in the actual with Carol when Carol was pregnant, if they were in like a proper relationship, if it was like kind of like a brief thing and Carol went off. I'm now very interested to know, like, is Kirk going to stay around when like David's baby and then Carol's going to leave him? I mean, I know this is not like the Kirk show, but I mean, it's a little of the Kirk show because they seem to be they like putting him in. So I think we're going to keep progressing with this. And I like that even though that Kirk is in the relationship, he can still acknowledge that there's like a spark between him and Lon. Because I mean, like, that there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
You know,
agreed.
You can have a connection with somebody and be like, you know, if I weren't in this position, yeah, totally. And you know, maybe it's possible that, you know, when he asked her for the drink, he was on one of those not sometime things.
Yeah,
and
like he could have just found out.
Yeah. Carol could have called him up and been like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant. And he's like, okay, so let's give it a go.
Yeah. Yep. Eric?
Everything MC said. Like, spot on, MC. Like, I love this conversation for everything that you just said. And it was surprising to me that David was mentioned this early. Like, it makes sense timeline wise.
The timeline's there, yeah.
And it was always something that I wondered about, is, you know, if he had known, because I feel like when we meet David in the movie, everyone's like, what the fuck, you have a kid? It's sort of like it's sort of like when Spock was like, I have a wife. Like, it was one of those moments where you assume Spock and Kirk would talk about these two very important things in their lives, but apparently not. I did. I like, as much as I would have loved this as a song, I like that it was an actual acted piece, because it's probably one of the best moments of this episode.
Yeah, agreed. Huh?
Yeah, excellent moment in this episode. And I'm glad it wasn't a musical piece in that, because I think Leon kind of figured it out. You know, it's like, okay, if I get emotional about it, she kept it flat. So she was able to actually have a conversation. Given that, though, I was a little confused because I might be remembering Wrath of Khan wrong in that, but I thought Jim was shocked that he kind of met David and kind of found out that he was his kid. But I guess he had already known at that point.
See, I thought that too.
Yeah.
I think it was more shock, right? Because I think Carol does say something to him. Like, they have that conversation. I think it's just more shock of seeing him, because I think later in Wrath of Khan, he's like, you were off doing your thing and you would have wanted him in your world and I wanted him in mine.
Yeah. He's shocked that he's a person.
Yeah. That he's actually there. Yeah.
So I know, I guess, like, you know, that sometimes on, sometimes off is about to take a huge sometimes off, you know, like time wise and that. Yeah. So, but no, I did like this conversation, and you know, I don't see this as the final nail in their relationship, you know.
But as far as maybe being an item, or maybe not, because we know that Carol does just break things off. So yeah. No, good point. Yeah. I want to talk about this because I really love this scene, and I don't think that it should have been a song. I was actually talking with our friend Josh Gilead from Legal Geeks today, and messaged me. I'm going to read this comment from the chat first from Kevin Richardson. Jim's relationship status with Carol is no excuse for his quote unquote hands-off parenting, which actually isn't the case. Kirk attempted to make a life with Carol, right? Like, tried to make it work. Like, this was the sometimes. And, you know, like, he had this beautiful woman, right, confiding in him, and took I'm in a relationship position, right? Like, a very adult move for Jim Kirk. And this season's also been doing a good job, like, making Kirk not be like kind of the womanizer that we know him to be in like TOS and like the movies. But like, Jim does try to make it work. And Carol says to Jim in the thing, like, I wanted him in my world. Like, it seems like she broke things off and was like, you don't have to be, you know, in his life. And I think Jim tried, but I think Carol realized he was always like going to put Starfleet first, and that Carol wanted to do her research, and that was going to keep them separated. So I don't think it's a failure on Jim or Carol's part. I think they actually both made very responsible adult decisions. But when you see this kid that you did know, right, like existed, what the timeline? He's older than 18 in Wrath of Khan. He's like in his 20s, maybe 30s.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a PhD doctorate at that point.
So
right?
it's still a shock, right? Yeah. So I really like the scene. I like that Jim Kirk doesn't kiss her. You know, it's like the good move. It's the responsible move. I loved it. I thought it was good. And I even like that he says, like, you know, I think you'd really like Carol. You're both like really stuck in like and true to your work. And it just was a good conversation. Like I really, really liked this scene a lot. So this song. He just full goes on angst in this one. How'd it go for you, Karyn?
I love that Spock got a math themed, post breakup number. I enjoyed it. I like the connection to Chapel's song musically. I like that they kind of took that, that tune and then made it into something more kind of dramatic and more, sort of that bassy tone that he's got. And yeah, I mean, I love a good math reference, of which there were many in this song. Yeah.
MC?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I wasn't like super into it. God bless autotune. I'm sorry. They did a really nice job on Ethan
You're
Peck.
so mean.
I know I'm really mean, but I mean, I specifically said last week when we saw the trailer that, I was worried about Ethan Peck. And when I watched this, I was pleasantly surprised, but I could tell that he was touched by an angel. Like, but that's fine. It's a tool.
That's another song.
It's a tool that's used. And yeah, I mean, like the math theme works really well. And the fact that, I'm the X in, math, I'm the X in the relationship. Sure, this all works fine. And I'm just glad it's over now.
Damn.
I love this song. Yeah. I love reprises. And I love when they take a fast song and they make it slow and introspective based on, something that was a big number. So many musicals have done it. Ethan Peck was very well touched by an angel, and he did a good job. Like I don't mind. I don't mind the auto tune on his voice. I feel like some other people on the cast got worse treatments, unfortunately.
I'm curious. Who do you think?
I think Ortega's got really bad one in the last song, and I don't think she needed it, to be honest, because in the first number she was fine. That I love. I was saying this before we were recording. I love having subtitles because seeing the math lyrics made me so much happier than when I was listening to it earlier and realizing that they kept on switching between the two X's. I really like this song. It's probably one of my favorite songs in the whole musical.
Yeah. Huck?
The song was good, but yeah, it definitely went through some sort of software.
Man.
I have a question.
It did. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay, go ahead. Yep.
It was interesting that this song, for me, it seemed like this is him finally realizing that he should go through with Kolinar.
Like yeah.
Like that's what I assumed that the song was about. Is like he's gone through all of this emotional breakup and he doesn't want to feel like this anymore. And by shutting away all his emotions, that through song, he's like, yeah, I know that I should go through this now.
Yeah,
that dramatic bitch. One breakup and it's Kolinar.
He's such a petty little dramatic bitch.
He really is.
He's our dramatic and petty bitch. Eric, I have to ask real quick. Are you wearing a Spam-A-Lot shirt?
I am 100%.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Spam.
Oh, just spam. Oh,
No,
this is the
Spam-A-Lot shirt that they sell.
Love it. Hawk, we totally cut you off.
For spam.
For spam. I don't like spam.
I'm good, man.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. I was like, I'm done. I'm over it.
I'll be back.
Spam,
Okay.
spammity spam, and eggs.
And I really like the song too, and I like it more because so am I an awful theater person? Have I been saying the word wrong? Is it reprise or
It's
reprise?
reprise.
It's a reprise.
I've been saying it the wrong way for decades.
You can say it both ways.
Oh,
It's
I
fine.
didn't say reprise.
Yeah, I always say reprise too. Okay. All right.
Reprise,
Maybe the
reprise.
Canadians say it differently.
We say it more British.
Yeah.
I mean, if
yeah.
it's one of those words that
Did you
you
put a
always
U in it?
read, like that happens. Like,
Like basil and aubergine.
We don't put in O's. You guys are U's. You take out the
them
U.
out. No, we do. It's true. No, I really like the song, and I love that it's a reprise of "I'm Ready." Like, I actually can't wait for the soundtrack to come out tomorrow, so I can play these like back to back from each other, because that'll be really fun. Whether he was touched by an angel or not, I thought it was gorgeous singing. I like that Uhura's in the room with him. I know that MC's been like feeling the Uhura love, and I'm like, girl, you ain't wrong. It's there.
Yeah.
And the look, like that sad look that she gives him at the end when he's done is just like, no, I really like this one quite a bit. And who said it earlier in the show? Just like there's so much of like Uhura in engineering, and we get to see so much of the engineering set finally. Like I love that. I'll keep us connected. I'm not even going to try and hit Celia because that would be just wrong.
ridiculous to try.
Ridiculous. She is literally a professional. Fun fact for people that don't know yet in the chat, her first job was in Jagged Little Pill, the Alanis Morissette musical. She went from Jagged Little Pill to Strange New Worlds. This is her second job.
She went from graduating musical theater school to Jagged Little
Pill to Strange New
Oh
Worlds.
my God.
Yep. So, so Uhura really, Celia, right? Like finally gets to shine in maybe the best song in this musical episode. She figures out the solution. She's talking about her past. She mentions Hemmer. I know a few people got emotional about the Hemmer thing, and we'll read our mailbag later. I just want people to go off on Celia. Go ahead, Karyn.
This song was just such, it was beautifully sung. I think she really just embodied so much emotion in this, and I like totally sold it. I loved the buildup of the song and sort of the evolution through it, where she's like unsure and she's, talking about, trying to hold things together and then realizing like, oh, it's me, like I'm the one. This is what I get to do. This song is another total earworm that has been alternating in my head for the past week, that keeps popping into my head. I would just absolutely love it. This one's probably my favorite number in it. And with close, I'm Ready probably is the close second.
Yeah, for sure. MC?
So Haven did ask us last night, like, do you guys have a favorite number? Absolutely. This was my favorite. And that was without question. I mean, I do like I'm Ready, but this is definitely my favorite because I was actually feeling super cock-teased about, Celia saying, because it's like she's in so much of this episode. Like, this is very much an ensemble episode, but if there's like one character you're going to like point out, it's Uhura. And she doesn't sing, like she's just kind of like background. So I'm just like, come on. You've got the Broadway actress. Like, come on, when is she gonna have her song? Of course, they're gonna keep it for the end.
Of course.
And she was just so good. Her song, it was beautiful. I mean, it was another one of these just kind of walking around the set songs. But I don't mind that for this one. Just like I didn't really mind it for La'an's song. Yeah, my cat is walking on my computer.
Trust me.
Your cat is excited about the song.
We're having pet issues. Everybody's excited about the musical. Jackson just wants all the love.
Though I do have to say, I've already put them on notice about, spending too much time on Uhura's tragic backstory and the tragic loss of Hemmer. I won't I'm going to put them on double notice now.
burn notice.
It was a weird pull in the song that they did that, right? It didn't need to be in there.
Well, I know the reason why they did it, because they have been pulling this whole Uhura is not really connecting with people.
Yeah.
She's
and
really
this
good.
is-
And
And her whole arc of the season is basically, getting her connected, because eventually in TOS she is going to be the heart of the Enterprise. So I think with this song, maybe we're final. But then the thing is, I said this already, that, with the last episode, maybe we finally got to the point where we don't have to bring it up again. And so double notice.
No. My God, this song is so good. It's so good. It seems the most like a modern musical, like a classic. That sounds weird. Modern musical classic. Like it's a classic song. Like it sounds like something that could be on Broadway right now. Like a Pasek and Paul song. It's so good. And like the way that just vocally she goes through the song, and it's the ebbs and flows that she uses with her voice, and I don't know what else to say. Like it's done to such perfection. Like Celia did such a good job. Like, and this is like MC said, it's another one of they're walking around the room, but she's in a very pretty room and she's doing some good ass walking right now.
There's nothing like a properly calibrated warp core.
Exactly. And the CG effect of when she realizes the code, and then there's like equations that are rotating around her. I was like, oh, I love that.
Beautiful mind shit.
Yeah, beautiful mind. Exactly.
I loved that part so much when they did that.
And it was so good. I again, like MC, I would have loved to hear more earlier. But I'm glad that she had this epic number right before the end.
Yeah. Yep.
Same. I don't know how much more I can add to this. Yes, it was, as MC said, it was huge cock tease having like this a Broadway singer and that like not sing throughout the entire episode, and then all of a sudden she gets like a huge solo song in that. And yes, it was a lot of walking around the room, but as was already said, it's a beautiful room, like the light from the warp core and that. And then that great pull away shot that they did, like that kind of show you like the scale of the studio that she was walking around on.
I fully expected her to be in a flying car at the end of this episode. Yeah. This song.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much a showstopper.
Yeah. Yeah. I know MC, you keep talking about like, let's stop bringing up the tragic backstory and like Hemmer being the cause of, the reason that like she came back to the Enterprise. I'm going to let them get away with it this time because like, man, it got the job done. Like it hit me emotionally, like every single time, like you hear the lyrics, like, and I texted you specifically. I said, God damn, the guitar riffs in this song are so freaking gorgeous. And then like, everything, the way it's composed, and then like the way that she talks about her big brother and like Calamity, and then they were just gone in this flashlight. The lyrics were just like I really liked it. I mean, yeah, you save the best for last, right? She was just stellar and superb. And yes, speaking of Hemmer, we have a fun new Klingon character. Yes, we do.
We'll talk about that.
We will talk about that. But man, yeah, it's between this and I'm Ready for best song, and it's not even close. Like these are both just like so freaking good. And Celia, like you just know, like Celia loves to sing. Yeah. Like her emotions coming out like through this entire song. The way it was shot, just everything. You guys said it all. Yeah. Like I
think they're different enough songs that you can't even really compare them.
No,
like,
you can't. Yeah. No, that's very true. Eric Summers also had Laurel singing a Klingon opera piece in my head. I mean, Laurel sings, like Mary Chieffo sings. Missed opportunity there too, not to be on board the Klingon ship.
You have to wonder with this episode, like, did they start planning on doing a musical when they cast Celia, or like did it take like a little bit of time?
I wonder if Celia pitched it. Like, I wonder if this was like maybe like, hey, could we maybe like
the reception after Children of the Comet was really high for her, like singing and stuff, right?
Yeah,
I have a history of Star Trek and musical episodes. Apparently, they've been pitching them since TNG. They pitched one from TNG,
The
but
Riker jazz
It was
musical.
Masks. It was Masks.
Oh my god.
I have no idea when, but it was always like, no, we can't do this. And then they pitched one for, I think Linda Park pitched one for Enterprise.
Oh wow.
And they wouldn't do it. I think like with Deep Space Nine, it was always like Deep Space Nine was kind of like Angel, and like they don't need to have a fully musical episode because they have a lot of like random musical like sequences. So yeah, like Trek does have a history of trying to get a musical episode in there. But yeah, definitely I think once they got Sally. But I mean also like they've been sitting on Anthony Rapp for like, 5 years. So
And Wilson Cruz.
And Wilson Cruz, yeah.
Cruise, yep. Yep.
Discovery next season. The musical episode.
The crew of the Enterprise. I loved the finale. I would have loved it even if the song was bad because I said I was going to love it as long as there was dancing red shirts. And there was dancing red shirts for 10 whole seconds. We got 10 seconds of dancing red shirts. So I'm happy. No, the Klingons want to blow the rift up, right? Which is going to then blow everyone up because of course, everything has to be connected because it's Star Trek. The crew wants to stop singing, but the solution is to have a grand finale because of a bunch of technobabble that somehow connects how hard they go, singing, dancing, everything to the subspace. What'd you call it, Hawk? Not rift?
Oh, the subspace fold.
The subspace fold and how it collapses. So we get dancing red shirts, dancing on the bridge, Klingons going full K-pop. What did we think of the finale, Karyn?
I literally like screamed when the Klingons came on the screen, and you had to tell me to shut up because I just kept going because it was so good. I wanted like a whole song of that just because it.
Everybody on Twitter saying the same thing.
Yes. I thought it was a great finale. There was dancing, there was singing, even like that, like Spock reluctantly joining in on the dancing at the very end when he's like, I guess I got to get in here so we can get the right number.
344.
It was great. Yeah. I thought it was a joyous number, and it was a fun little, like, we got this together. We're going to save everybody because otherwise we're going to die and the Klingons are going to kill us. Yeah.
Yep. MC?
I think this is probably the first moment that we're seeing legendary Uhura start. Like that Uhura that Mariner was, worshiping in those old scientists. And I mean, I think you could almost see like the transformation because at the beginning of this, Uhura is like talking over the comms and it's just like, most of you probably don't know who I am. And then at the end, you've got Pike being like, it's all thanks to you, Uhura. And she does her cute little curtsy and my God, it's just adorable. I think probably one of my favorite moments of this entire musical is them singing, "It's our prime directive," and then Spock coming in.
Not exactly.
Not really.
Yes.
And the K-pop Klingons, I mean, come on. Like, it was just like when they said, like, I don't want singing Klingons. I'm like, I absolutely
We all want singing Klingons. Why you always call us with your drama?
And then, of course, we were so distracted by singing Klingons that we didn't realize who the head singing Klingon was.
Yeah, when I sent you guys the message, like, I can't wait till you guys see this cameo. It's amazing. And you're like, what
And
cameo?
we were all like, what
totally
cameo?
went over my head.
Totally went over my head. Yep. But that says something about Bruce Horak, right? Because like he's one of those actors that can like completely just disappear into a makeup, and a lot of people now are saying maybe this is like the silent, like he's going to be the next Jeffrey Combs.
Yes,
which would be awesome.
I'd love
Happy
that.
with that.
Even if he doesn't play another alien, like, dude,
If he's just a
season
regular
3, 4,
Klingon?
yeah, if he's like Pike's foil, like like Kirk had Kang and Koloth, like, dude, what about this guy being Pike's Klingon foil? That would be awesome.
I want him to be the next Jeffrey Combs and just be
everybody.
I do
a
too,
different character in every season.
Yeah, but MC, I just want to touch. Wait, is Bruce Horak seriously in the chat? Hi,
What?
Bruce. I think Bruce has been in our chat before, so I think it actually might be. Bruce, if that's you, hello. It's good to see you. Amazing. Yes, please. We would love that. Hi, it is. Yes, Bruce
That's
has been in our
amazing.
chat before, so it's been a while. You were awesome. You were amazing. Welcome to the chat. I just want to touch on what you said about like Uhura. Yes, Bruce is in Vegas right now. So if you're in Vegas and you're listening to the pod, go meet Bruce today. I got to meet him at Trek Long Island, and he is just a
totally
pleasure.
great, yeah.
Yeah, and MC did too. I want to touch on what you said real quick about like Uhura becoming like legendary Uhura, right? Because I even think like when she does say, some of you don't know me, the way that she says her rank, right? When she goes Ensign Nyota Uhura, she's like proud. Right, she's like, I am proud that I am an ensign and I am the communications officer of the ship. So I like what you said there, Eric.
I love the song. I love that Uhura is the one that brought them together. Again, like MC said, her starting this off and like the energy that she just exudes to the cast. Like, of course, they're gonna have a blast in this last number. Oh my god, I didn't think that the Klingons were a K-pop group. They sort of seemed like the Lonely Islands just jumped in right now, and I was like, yes, Bruce Horak, part of the Lonely Island. And the Klingons were pissed because they were singing like that, and they're like, we have to shut this shit off right now. We gotta stop it. I died laughing when I watched it, and my kids were like, this is the best part of this whole song. And I'm like, you're right, this is the best part of the whole song. That being said, I wish they sang more together. Like I wanted more ensemble. I wanted more and more and more. Not saying that the song was bad, but I just wanted more because I could feel that it was there. It was just a little pulled back, I guess. The dancing at the end when they're all in a line. The theater kid in me was just like, I remember doing these back in years and years and years of doing this. Step forward, one. Make sure you're in the window, because if you're not, you're gonna block someone.
Make sure you're in your place.
Like it's so good, and seeing. When they get out of the elevator, like Spock and Mabenga and Chapel, it's so funny because Spock is so serious, and then Chapel like skips in. And I'm like, that is adorable. That is just adorable, and it felt so perfect. Man, this number was so much fun. And then the ship started twirling and twirling and twirling, and then there was an explosion, and I was like, there you go. And then my favorite part was the 1950s-esque ending where they're playing the TOS theme and they're all just shaking hands. They're like, we're done the musical now. Yes, we're done. Very good. And I was like,
Pike does that little shimmy with Pelia.
Oh, that was so cute.
guys.
It was so good. It felt like every musical theater show where you're just like, okay, we're done in the background. You're giving each other hugs. And you're like, we did it. One more number. But they don't get to do another number.
Yeah. Hawk.
So yeah, the whole entire finale was epic, and it's exactly what I thought it would be in that. And I'm sorry, I love Bruce Horak, and I'm sorry he's in the chat tonight, but the Klingons were where it really jumped the shark for me.
Boo.
Like that's like when I was thinking Klingons are coming and we're gonna hear them sing in that, and it's like MC, you mentioned before about how villain tunes are like the most fun in like any musical, right? Mm-hmm. This was a huge opportunity for a villain song.
You can't have a villain song
Not in the middle.
finale. You had to have it.
I know.
And when he stood up and did the thing, I was like, yeah, it was so good. Sorry.
And like I kind of believed like everything like up to that point, like because this was they all have a kind of a shared history of musicals and music from Earth, over the years, and that obviously like Uhura has a great American songbook, like probably queued up every night. How did the Klingons have a frame of reference?
I have an idea.
K-pop?
I have an idea with this.
Please explain.
Because the thing that set the ripoff was a song from the Great American Songbook. It was all Earth-based.
It's all Earth-based. Yep.
You should hear BTS in the original Klingon.
Man,
my
butter
God.
is so different that way.
What if every ship had like a different musical style?
Yes.
Oh my
Like the country ship and the
Well, the Cerritos definitely has like dubstep. Then if it's the Nebula sisters, right? Oh man. Hawk, you good? You want to keep going? Keep going.
What was I gonna say next? Yeah, like I said, I really wanted to hear some Eric Summers in the chat mentioned we could have gotten a great sea shanty or like something like Pirates of the Penzance from the Klingons. So little underused, but then again, by the end, this was just like fallen into like just absurd comedy. So
yeah,
more power to it.
Yeah. I got what I wanted at the beginning of the song, so I would have been happy if it ended there. I'm not kidding. I know it sounds so fucking stupid, but like dude, there were 10 dancing red shirts. They were dancing for 10 seconds. I want red shirts to die, but really I just wanted them to dance this time. And I got it. So I'm happy. I loved, again, like Paul Wesley, like talking about like, have to give credit where it's due. If I may, Captain, it'll be because of all of you. Like, I love that scene. I love that. Hawk, I was going to say this whether you said what you're going to say or not, so I'm sorry, but not sorry. Like, I see so many people like not understanding like the Klingons on Twitter, and I'm like, it's just go with it. Go with the flow. It worked. Like, it was just, it reminds me, even though the music style is completely different, it actually really reminds me, like, Hamilton's so serious up until a point, and then you get like Jefferson in the second act, and he just comes like, what did I miss? What did I miss? And like, this was kind of like the what did I miss moment for me, and I just love seeing them. And the best part about it is that it is so ridiculous and out there, and maybe it doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense, but then like, the Klingons stop singing and they look at each other and they know that, and they're like embarrassed, like the whole crew of the Enterprise is looking at them in their underwear or in their whatever.
That's why they were trying to blow it up.
and their battle sashes. So I was just like, I loved it. But Eric, you kind of already said what I wanted to say about them doing like the hands and if you did any kind of theater, you've done that before. It was glorious. Playing the TOS theme at the end, I got goosebumps. Here for more, like, we got no Pike Pelia this season, and we get them doing a little shimmy together. So I think
we got continued Spock Klingon diplomacy, which makes me wonder if everything in Star Trek 6 is just because Spock wanted to get trashed on Bloodline.
He's like, oh, you want me to try and make peace with the Klingons? Oh, General Gorkon? Oh, I hear he has a really good
supply
year of blood wine. Yeah, I'll take that job on. Yeah, and again, like, I know Bruce is in the chat, but I have to read this comment. Kate Quinn writes, we barely got any Pelia at all this season, which is very mirrored of us barely getting any Hemmer last season. So it is like the curse of the Strange New Worlds chief engineer. Hopefully Pelia doesn't die. Well, if we're just going to get a new chief engineer every season. I know Yum Yum Pot said something similar.
Finale. Come on.
Yes, you can.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Bruce goes, more engineer. So yeah, new engineer every season. That's the trope for Strange New Worlds.
Could it be
like
Bruce just in different?
Yes.
It's like
back Bruce and another.
It's like the drummer in Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Put a new wig on.
Let's get into some of your guys' final thoughts. We'll go in. We're actually going to change. We're going to kind of play around with how we rate and how we talk about our final thoughts until we find something that we like. So, your guys' final thoughts this time. We will start with you, Hawk.
Final thoughts. It was a very well-rounded episode for the musical, and that, like, it tried to take itself a little seriously in its concept in that, but by the end, I think they'd abandoned seriousness and it's just decided, let's just run with this. It's fun, it's silly, it has a little bit of seriousness here and there. Doesn't overwhelm it. It's a fun episode. Now I'm looking forward to my rewatch.
Yeah, Eric.
I love this episode. I love it so much. I've been listening to this. I've watched this episode every day since we got the screeners.
Me too.
Every day. If not once, definitely twice. Because it's that fun of an episode. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I watched it, I'm not going to rewatch it. I'm like, I'm going to rewatch it tonight. I'm going to rewatch it after we're done talking because I love it so much. That being said, it's not without its problems. I think setting this in as episode 9 of a 10 episode season is really weird for me because we have the finale next week. That means it has to do a lot of heavy lifting if they're going to connect all of these threads that they've put throughout the season. I keep on thinking back to Buffy and Once More with Feeling, because that is really the epic musical episode in my brain. And that happened episode 7 of 24, 24, 22. I can't remember.
22.
So the first third, it ended the first third of the season. And it was really important for the story of that season because it let it let the rest of the people
Scooby
on the
Gang,
show, the
yeah.
Scooby Gang, know that Buffy had been pulled out of heaven. Like, it was a very important point, and it was a turning point, and that wouldn't have happened if she wasn't singing about it. And it really set motion for the rest of the season. So if this was like in the first third or the first half, like I could see this as a really good mid-season episode, and it leading the charge for the rest. Like, something happened in it and it led the charge for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Eric, that's such a good point, man, because even though like I don't mind charades, like this would have been such the better option instead of charades. Like, put this at episode 5 if you're going to have the fun episode, like this is it, right? Yeah.
And I mentioned this. Me and MC talked about this after she had watched it. I'm like, it's really weird because the finale, like, it's going to be a heavy episode. I assume it's going to be a heavy episode just based on everything that we've heard and what they've been telegraphing this whole season. And having this and the Lower Decks episode so close together, instead of like spreading them out to, ease the tension throughout the season, it seems weird to me. That being said, I still like this, and it fully doesn't feel like it's out of the realm of Star Trek. It all fits in Star Trek. And I love that, because there's some TV shows where like, we're just going to do it for shits and giggles and we'll see how it goes. And that's not what this is. This feels like Star Trek, just a singing Star Trek.
Yeah. Agreed. MC?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we all knew that I was the wet blanket in terms of this episode. I've enjoyed talking about it with you guys because I enjoy your enthusiasm for it much more than I enjoyed watching it. I think I thought it was cute. But from a storytelling standpoint, I don't think it was. I've been really good not bringing up Buffy this entire thing, except for the beginning. And Eric also opened up. But Once More with Feeling really did the telling emotions through songs very, very well, because you did have the Buffy revealing that she had been in heaven. You had Tara finding out what Willow had done to her. You had all of these Giles revealing that, he, wanted to leave. All of these very huge emotions that are incredibly life-changing for the cast. Meanwhile, in this, it is a lot of we're not communicating with each other, and now we're going to communicate through song, and it's going to go badly. And it just didn't resonate with me, especially because I have a blackened and cold heart, and none of the relationships on Strange New Worlds has really been working for me. Don't mind me. So I thought it was fine. None of the songs really stuck with me aside from Celia's song. And now Chapel's song, now that I've watched it a second time. So yeah, it was cute, and I'll watch it again, but it's not going to be like my first stop for I need something fun to watch. That'll be Those Old Scientists still.
Fair. Karyn?
I'm gonna be listening to this soundtrack in the car as soon as we can download it, because the songs have been stuck in my head. I might as well know all the words. I loved this. I mean, I'm a musical theater geek. I'm a Buffy the musical fan. I enjoy musical episodes, and I think this is a really well done one. I'm happy that Star Trek finally got to do its musical episode, and that this was the cast that got to do it, because I think it's a really good cast with a lot of talent, and the ones that needed auto-tune got it done pretty well. Now we have good enough technology for that, I guess.
We don't say auto-tune, we say touched by an angel.
Touched by an angel. No, I mean, I thought it was fun. I thought the songs, most of them were really good. I laughed. I got emotional. I screamed at the Klingons.
They'd be happy.
I do think I agree with Eric in that this has been a very up down past few episodes. Like to go from those old scientists to M'Benga, and war trauma and killing a Klingon to musical episode to Gorn is a big leap, and I wish there were more episodes in between to throw in a Planet of the Week episode instead in the middle to smooth it out and kind of bring it back to baseline, because it is a pretty big drop to go from comedy to super dark.
Well, and we had super dark last week too.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
You go from lower decks. No, you go from lower decks to that super dark episode last week, and then back to this fun comedy musical, and then now we're gonna probably have Gorn and death and all the seriousness, I'm sure, next week, because it's the finale. And it didn't quite feel like a penultimate sort of I feel like there needs to be more of a lead up to the finale, and I think it feels short to have kind of this sort of ordering.
Yep. I'm going to start with what you're saying first, Karyn. I've had I've loved a lot of this season. Everybody knows that from listening to the pod. But I think everybody said it, and Kay Quinn said it too. Fun episode, uneven season. This has been a really uneven season, and it split the fan base in a big way. And I think that it is showing, even though I think season 1 did it better, you can't do episodic with 10 episodes.
Yeah.
You just can't. If you're going to do 10 episodes, we need to go back to serialized. If you want to make it 15, okay. But this era of television we're in, 12 is kind of the max these days. So it's not going to happen. So you have to decide whether you're going to stick with this being episodic, which if you do a season like season 1, okay. But if you do it like this, which has been very weirdly paced, then we need to rethink the program a little bit. That being said, holy fuck, I've watched this episode 6 times. It is the most screeners I've ever watched using my screeners. I know
finished
a couple
mine.
other. I know a couple other Trek podcasters I was talking with on Twitter said the same thing.
How many of those did Cecily watch with you?
Like three or four. Cecily, and that's the other thing. Connecting with Cecily over this episode, she has been singing the hell out of this, and I'm so happy. As we're theater married, we're theater kid nerds that got married, and our kid might be turning into one, and that's awesome.
Oh, totally.
And go ahead, go off on it.
No, mine is too. Me and my wife met doing musical theater. We got married because I did a what are they called? Those surprise things, those surprise musical things. What are they called?
A flash mob?
A flash mob. I flash mob proposed to her with musical theater people, and my kid is in
video of that on your Facebook.
It's on YouTube. My kid, this musical, she really really got attached to it. She really likes it. She likes the numbers I don't even like, and I love it. And she's taking musical theater lessons now because of all of this stuff.
Awesome.
And I think she wants to watch Buffy now. And I'm like, yes, it's all happening. It's all happening.
Cecily literally said, because I was making a TikTok that'll be released on our socials tomorrow, by the way. And Cecily's like, I really want to watch the Buffy episode, so I'm going to show it to her tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. She was in bed when we watched it last night. But just to continue, I've been thinking long and hard about this. This might be one of, if not my favorite Star Trek episodes. Really. I've watched every single time. I have the same reaction. It makes me happy. I'm thinking about episodes I've said that about recently. They're in Picard. I love season 3 of Picard. I 9 and 10 are definitely some of my favorite episodes of Star Trek ever. Those hit emotionally. There's a couple episodes of TNG that are up there. of DS9.
I think you've said it
that are
twice
up
this season.
No, maybe about Lower Decks, but and Ad Astra Perez. But I don't think that's one of my favorite episodes. It's a great episode. It's Hall of Fame track, but it's not one of my favorite episodes.
But I think Julian, like me and you, I like this and the Lower Decks episodes. I don't think I've watched the Star Trek episode as much as those two.
I haven't even watched episode 9 of Picard season 3 as much as I've watched these two.
And we love that one.
And like that episode has made me cry every single time I've watched it. So like this episode really hits me really hard. Like I'm like you said, you're gonna watch it when we're done talking. I'm probably gonna watch it when we're done talking. I love it. And I have to really think about like where it is in my top 5, top 10, because it's definitely there. Yeah. Any other final thoughts? Good. All right, let's get to.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are they only releasing this digitally?
I think so.
That is a missed opportunity.
Maybe
for
vinyl.
now.
Yeah, for now. I bet you they'll do a vinyl.
Give me
I
vinyl.
bet you they'll do a vinyl.
Give me vinyl or give me death.
Let us get to the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Hailing frequencies open.
And who wants to take the subspace tool? Do you want?
Karyn.
We don't have the numbers in front of us. Oh, I can pull them up on Twitter though.
Oh, I got
Karyn.
the numbers in there.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I printed it out already though.
I'll
Sorry
do it. Yeah, he printed it and it just says percentage. All right. We asked the artist formerly known as Twitter what they thought of episode 209 Subspace Rhapsody, and this is what they had to say. 75% said Broadway, 21% said West End, 3% said 8th grade musical, and 1% said Cats the movie.
I feel like when you said Broadway, you should have done the jazz hands.
I was kind of hoping you would. Yeah. There we go.
I'm glad you put in the movie because I actually like Cats.
I like
have
Cats too.
Nightmares.
But not that fun.
Is it the butthole
The
edition?
movie's terrible.
The butthole edition.
No, I would watch the butthole edition. Also, anatomically correct cat boobs. Because why do they only have 2 boobs? They should have had 6. Like,
Teats.
come on now. 8.
Teats.
Yeah, teats. Yeah, come on.
Really quick. Bruce has got to go. So, Bruce,
Bruce.
thank you so much
Bruce,
for
thank
coming.
you.
It was so great to see you. And thank you for the very kind comments. Says, love the pod, y'all. We love you. Awesome. Yeah.
More Bruce.
More Bruce. You good? You did the poll? Or are we
Yeah,
talking
sorry,
about,
the last thing I said to Bruce Horak was cat teeth.
Are we still talking about cat teats? Okay.
I'm just saying that's my beef with that movie. Besides the horror. of
The entire movie and dancing cockroaches.
It's just the cat teats.
But like, why do they have boobs? They don't need boobs. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Release
Jesus.
the butthole cut.
Oh no.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
I'm kind of sorry I drew attention to it now.
You gone and done it. Hey, listen, we've watched that movie as a Discord collective. So just remember.
It was horrifying.
It was horrifying. Oh my god.
Cecily loved it.
My kids love it too, and I don't understand it because they've seen the
Lord.
stage version too.
Is it over? Are we done talking about Cats the movie?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, guys.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
that would actually be really good. A version of Cats with Tiana in it. And another.
Would she play the cat if you
Mr.
thank you,
Mustunk?
Haven. If you haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Haven. You rock.
She could do it as a woman show.
Yeah, Judi Dench's character.
Old Deuteronomy.
Old Deuteronomy, right? There you go, Tiana. Oh my God. MC, can you continue, please, with Eric the Red's mailbag?
Sure. Eric the Red wrote, as someone who doesn't always like musicals, I loved this episode. Much like the Lower Decks crossover, I was surprised how much this was focused on the actual crew and felt like an actual episode instead of just being about the gimmick. The songs were fantastic and heartfelt. Hope we see more of Bruce's Klingon character as a recurring foil for Pike. The direction had to be superb for this to work, and mission accomplished. Feels like the cast had fun making this episode. 10 out of 10.
Indeed. And then, Eric, can you continue with section 31?
Yeah. Section 31 wrote, I really liked this episode, but honestly, I didn't like how they brought in Kirk. To quote Christine Chapel, my spark has been ignited. Instant fan favorite, just like how Once More with Feeling is with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Since I won't be here to give my rating on the show, I will rate this 10 weeks on Broadway out of 10.
Nice. Hawk with Strange Free Worlds, please.
Oh, Strange Free World wrote this was amazing. The character work they did was great. As someone whose crash course in musicals has been Schmigadoon with my partner, I appreciate how good of a musical it seemed to be. I got to get back into Schmigadoon.
Corn pudding, my friend. Corn pudding.
I know that reference.
Haven wrote, 2 weeks ago, I wrote that I found what was the best episode ever of Star Trek out of 888 episodes. That quickly changed. Nami's scores have been a constant playthrough on my Spotify playlist, but as soon as these 10 episodes or 10 songs hit the airwaves, they will be a top hit. And then, Karyn, can you take Colin D's, please? Oh, it's very long, by the way. I allowed it because it was very, very well written.
Colin D wrote, Subspace Rhapsody. Wow. I have more to say than the mailbag will allow, and I have to express myself somewhere. So here it is. Forgive me if this is too wordy. I get that way sometimes. I come from a musically oriented family on both sides. Both parents were singers. I've sung in church choirs, had solos in said choirs, performed musicals in college, and been to many musicals performed by Broadway touring companies. Musicals and singing are deep in my soul. Like I said earlier, the first number had my eyes moist immediately. Uhura's solo number, they were not going to get away without an Uhura solo, had me in tears down my face even before the finale. Celia killed. Not to sound all melodramatic, but she seemed to soar, and I felt like she took me there too. And Chrissy Chong, wow again. We all knew she could sing, but that number packed a deep emotional punch. Wow. I'm so glad she got a song of her own. The final number had me so happy, I just continued the tears from Uhura's number. Frankly, I thought the cast did well. Two of them, Ethan and Melissa, who aren't trained singers, still did well for not being singers. I still think those old scientists might rank out Subspace Rhapsody, but not by much. This has been the best 2 weeks of Star Trek I can imagine.
Yep. Just a very quick point out, because it does need to be said, Nami did write the musical score for this episode, but she did not write the song. So that's a very clear distinction that needs to be made. Who's up? MC with Jedi Cats.
Jedi Cat wrote, I'm so happy to finally see these two of my favorite things, Star Trek and musicals, combined to make a beautifully crafted hour of pure joy. The show took a huge risk here, and while it's not perfect, whatever is, the creative pulled off one of the most memorable and surely to be the most hotly debated Star Trek episodes ever. While the numbers cleverly developed characters and story arcs, I was disappointed in how two romances were resolved and one continued to suffer. I hated the La'an Kirk ending before it could begin, although I had wondered if Carol Marcos was already in the picture, and the end of the Chapel Spock romance made the whole thing feel pointless. It was. The notion of Pike and Patel being not meant for each other was beaten into the ground, although I loved their truncated duet. And now I'm more sure than ever she's about to be a bad end. Despite these little nitpicks, I really enjoyed this episode and can't wait to watch it again.
Nice. Eric with Jesco's, please.
Jesco wrote, certainly in the running for most unique episode. Not my favorite, but it was fun to see everything unfold, and I love how there was a scientific explanation for why everyone was singing their hearts out. Like the character development we got here, and congrats to Chapel. Spock's I am an ex-sad boy villain song, and then Uhura's gorgeous connection song back to back was absolutely my favorite part. When she sang "To Fix What Is Broken," I teared up a little at the shout out to her former mentor. Also, hi, Bruce. He makes a fun boy band Klingon. I see a Jeffrey Combs in the making as he racks up alien roles. Now I shall toss roses at the TV. Bravo.
Jessica's going to be so obsessed. She missed Bruce.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, no one tell her.
Surely she won't listen to this episode.
No. Can you take Rude Parakeets, please?
Sure. Rude Parakeet wrote Subspace Rhapsody and Those Old Scientists were two episodes I didn't think they'd be able to pull off, but I'm thrilled to have been wrong both times. Uhura's solo and engineering and Chapel's I'm Ready were just amazing. The Klingon bit was so beautifully atrocious, it was perfect. And Pike and Pelia's little shimmy on the bridge gave me life. I also love how Uhura's humming at the end triggered everybody's post-traumatic song disorder.
Oh, that was so good. Sorry, earworm.
It made me think of Changeling when she's humming.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said earworm. That's
No,
a reference.
MC.
Oh, she ends up humming and changeling, and that's why Nomad erases her memory.
Yeah. Hawk, what's the earworm reference?
Earworm.
Wrong.
The worm
Con.
in the
Oh,
ear.
earworm.
Takan.
Oh, Takan. Yes, 100%. Congressional baseball fan wrote, Star Trek is all about taking chances, and I'm so glad they did with Strange New Worlds this season. 3 incredible episodes in a row. Excuse me. Really 4, because 6 was excellent as well. Those Old Scientists is my favorite so far, but this week and the time travel episode are tied for second in my book. Looking forward to next week, but sad to see it come to a close. 10 episodes is just not enough for this show. Agreed. Closing thought, Jim Kirk really knows how to sell how excuse me. God, sorry guys. Jim Kirk really knows how to sell how fun sliding down a Jeffries tube can be. Truth. And Karyn with Chris's, please.
Chris wrote, I'm not one for musicals, even though I'm a total theater nerd. I really had fun with this, and I'm all about Claan. I won't I won't finish before the mailbag is due, so I just wanted to send my love about this episode and fun Star Trek. Stay weird, Star Trek. Let's sing along now and spread joy from stern to bow on this Enterprise.
Wonderful. And then take us home, MC with Professor Time Travelers, please.
Professor Time Traveler wrote, this episode was aggressively heterosexual, but still a treat. Well, we got a little bisexual bit in there. I'm so happy Chapel sang about her career instead of Spock, even if I find it jarring that they are suddenly treating Chapel like a character who has a backstory and career goals after 17 episodes of screen time that revolved almost entirely around Spock. I also found their breakup to be underwhelming. All of that screen time for what amounts to a 4-episode fling. This is why Spock closes off. I thought they'd go bigger, deeper, messier, like Chapel doing to Spock what he did to T'Pring by having an emotional affair with Gorby. Wow, and I thought I was rough.
That was an epic mailbag. What a way to close the show. Oh my God. No, you're still pretty cold, MC, with your cold black heart.
Yeah, right.
That's why we love you. Guys, that is going to do it for this one. Before we go, Karyn, what's going on with you? Where can we find you? What do you have going on?
Well, we just restarted Everything is Permitted, and we've a couple of episodes in. We just did an episode review, or did a review of the Ninja Turtles movie that dropped this week.
Mutant Mayhem.
And before that, we did a Barbenheimer review, of which I saw the Barbie half. I did not care about Oppenheimer, but Julian enjoyed it. And yeah, we've got a Secret Invasion coming up, in which I'm already not looking forward to.
None of us are.
And yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I think my Instagram is orangutangy.
It is.
There you go. So you can find me on there. I don't really post much, but sure. There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It was cool to have you on for this one. I'm glad you got to come on. You don't come on enough. We love seeing you. Next week, the show is already over, which we've been complaining about for 2 hours. 10 episodes, and here we are, the finale. What is going on? What is Karyn? Is Karyn typing? Karyn's typing. Karyn is going to get into the chat. Not good. No, we are gonna do our finale review next week. Same bat time, same bat place, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. So I will say, for Karyn, for MC, for Hawk, for Eric, I am Julian, and I will leave it in the words of our favorite communications officer.
You fly safe out there.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.